start with a statement that if each one of you is not focused on performance every single day, you're not focused on the right stuff. Let me say that again. If you're not focused on performance every single day, you're not focused on the right stuff. Performance drives everything. I don't care how well something works for people. If it doesn't work fast enough, it doesn't work. So you start with that. If you have to be starting with performance every single day. I made a standing bet, and I'll make it again. I will bet anybody $20 you can't bring me a piece of code that I can't make twice as fast. That's a bold statement. No matter what it is, no matter how well it's optimized, I can make it twice as fast. And so we always have to start with that concept that every single thing we have, we can make twice as fast. So the first question you have to think about is, where am I going to spend my time making things twice as fast? And so the first thing you have to look at is, from a user perspective, is what's slowing down and what's acceptable performance. So when a screen refreshes, your brain can't process as fast as the screen can refresh. So if I have a screen that refreshes in, say, 1/4 of a second, and I make that twice as fast, and I make it refresh in 1/8 of a second, my brain can't process fast enough. The difference between 1/4 of a second and 1/8 of a second is meaningless to my brain, so it doesn't make any difference. So even though you just made that twice as fast, you haven't helped anybody. Now, if you can go and take something that takes 5 seconds and turn it to 2.5 seconds, that is meaningful. So the first question is looking at kind of the load and how we distribute that load and where we need to go apply our resources. Because nobody has the resources to work on everything all the time, so we have to be smart in how we do that. The second part of that is understanding whether we're not in a loop or not. So when you come in the morning and you turn your PC on, in most cases it probably takes some number of seconds for that to start up and for the screen to become active and do the work. And you look at that and you go, that's okay. I come in, I turn it on, it takes 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. It really doesn't matter that much. As long as it's 10 minutes, that's a problem. But if it's a few seconds, I can deal with that. But then once I'm in processing and programming, if it's something's going to take 5 seconds and I'm doing it repeatedly, that's a disaster. And so we need to look at that from our customer perspective. When they're trying to issue a lot to a sales order, if that takes more than an instantaneous response, I draw the line at a second or somewhere even below a second. Is if we're issuing a lot to a sales order, it's taking more than a second, that's unacceptable performance, and we have to go figure out how to do that and beat that. Whereas if I'm running a report on how many lots that I shipped this month and it takes a few seconds, that's acceptable.